So there are a number of environmental pressures facing national statistical offices, and they're no way restricted to Canada. Most are faced with declining budgets arising from their respective governments' need to address budget deficits. As well, more and more households have only cell phones or use internet phones. All of this makes it more challenging to ensure representative samples and high response rates. Today, Stats Canada uses over 500 administrative files in its statistical programs. To no one's surprise, big data is the topic of the day in most statistical offices. For Stats Canada, there's no real distinction between big data and the more traditional concept of administrative data. By this definition, income tax data and health insurance transactions, retail scanner data, telephone and utility bills, credit card transactions, electricity meter data are all examples of administrative data sets. We also are fully transparent when it comes to approved record linkage projects, which include an annual report to Parliament on privacy and a summary of all approved record linkages on our website. Researchers have access to both microdata and linked data via our 27 research data centers located across the country in universities. And there's no charge to university researchers, just a little bit of paperwork. StatsCan is also uniquely positioned to link non-health related data sources such as the census, immigration, and employment data to further understand the broader determinants of health. As I noted earlier, one of the key advantages of record linkages is our ability to create large nationally representative population-based cohorts to study rare outcomes. A second key advantage is the ability to bring together data sources that allow us to identify key subpopulations not otherwise identifiable in our administrative health data sources to better understand their outcomes. There is also renewed interest in administrative records as an alternative to the relatively expensive collection costs of statistical surveys and censuses. In response, innovative work is underway at Stats Canada on a proof of concept initiative to create a social domain record linkage environment. And a critical point I'd like to communicate is that the SDRLE is not a large linked database of integrated survey information. It's a way to manage linkage activities. What does it look like? The personal identifiers of individuals from administrative files are brought into the environment and linked together to create a historical depository of linkable information for individuals. A number of developed countries are moving toward greater use of administrative data to displace the need for a traditional census. They're able to do so because they have both a central population register and a universal personal identification number. Because Canada neither has a population register nor a personal identification number, our studies concluded that such an approach was not feasible for the 2016 census. In Canada, the social insurance number, while prevalent, is not universal. Two options are being explored for the 2021 census and beyond. The first option appears to have some potential. However, in its present state, the tax and benefit system would not meet the constitutional and legislative requirements for the census of population due to gaps in both the coverage of the population and the variables collected. But many individuals are expected to remain uncovered by the tax system. These include Aboriginals on reserves, children over 6 years old for whom benefits were never requested, recent immigrants, low-income Canadians who do not file tax returns, and marginalized persons such as the homeless. The second approach we are exploring would be to link together, using the social insurance number, existing government administrative data sources to create a database of Canadians that would be maintained on an ongoing basis. To assess the accuracy of the coverage of the population using administrative sources would require that StatsCan collect and use the social insurance number in the 2016 census of population. Perhaps the most important considerations relate to those of privacy, the U.S. Patriot Act, and recent revelations about the activities of the U.S. National Security Agency are two examples of context setting that will cause concern about the Big Brother features of compiling and linking multiple administrative databases, even for statistical purposes. With imagination, energy, and better data integration, I know we can meet the challenge in responding to current and emerging public policy issues, even in the context of government austerity. Thank you.